Hi, everyone. My name is Bridget Swain, and this week, as we look into foster care, I'll be sharing an article on the foster care provider's perspective. I chose this topic because after our book report assignment this semester, I read the book Damaged by Kathy Glass. And that book truly opened my eyes on the relationships that are between the foster caregivers and the public child welfare agencies and their workers, because there is so much that I feel that the public eye does not see that goes on in the foster care system, in placing these children into homes, and that the fact that it truly takes a team to make that happen. And I wanted to find an article that could not only bring insight to you all on that, but also educate us a little bit more on the need for that relationship to be the strongest. And so the article I found is called Improving Relationships in Child Welfare Practice: Perspectives of Foster Care Providers. And it was founded in the Child Adolescent Social Work Journal of 2017. And in this article, they examined over 1,095 foster parents through a 77 question survey that was given to them through choice of either a mail invitation or an email. And through that, they wanted to get the perspective of these foster parents' relationships between their child welfare workers and find ways that improvement can be done through the recruitment process, the retention of efforts and fostering of the parents, the disruption of the children from the licensing closure, and the overall well being of the children that are put in their care. It was crazy that they stated over 400,000 children nationally are in out of home placements as a result of experiencing child abuse and neglect. That just goes to show you the importance that the agencies need these foster care parents, and that's why the relationship between the two is so important. This article did a really, really good job at discussing the importance of that relationship and why sometimes when that relationship is not strong, foster parents don't do it anymore. And sadly, we lose a lot of fostering parents because of their feeling of being lost and unsupported. And I wanted to scroll down here so I can show you. So the way the method of the 77 questionnaire kind of played out was pretty simple, actually. And I'll show you guys the tables as well that you can look into more on your own time. But they didn't want it to be just a yes or no or circle A, B, C, or D type of questionnaire. They really wanted to hear from these foster parents, which I loved. So it wasn't just a statistical report. They also looked at the overall comments. So besides just the typical questions that they provided, they also left spaces for the parents to write rationales for their reasoning of everything they put, which I think is really, really important and different than what I feel like we usually see in research. That they actually were given a voice and more than just the circling of the answer. The biggest thing that they found throughout this was communication and the need of communication and the loss of that, for that matter. It was crazy that they kind of found both the pro and the con of these relationships, as some absolutely had amazing relationships with their child care agencies while others did not. So they found that about 63% of foster care parents reported receiving notifications of meetings, appointments, different changes with the children that were placed in their homes, which is great. And that's a really good number. And an even higher number of 79% reported the knowings of who to contact if there was any emergencies or things that took place with the kids in their home. As these numbers do sound great, and at first I read this thinking, okay, then what's the argument here? However, unfortunately, about less than half of those foster parents reported receiving actual significant background information on the children that were placed in their home prior to that placement, meaning that these parents were literally given no information at all, even on the emergency cases, leaving them not knowing what the kids that were coming into their home had come from or how many homes they had been in. And what is even more sad is that most of the foster parents that were interviewed found out that they were having kids that had been in more than 4 to 8 homes within the last year, but they weren't even finding out about this until later. So these kids are just being passed and passed on to each different home because they were not educating the foster parents on the situations that they were actually going to be faced. So because of this, they also left a questionnaire part for the parents to talk about how would they feel supported? What is it that they needed to feel that they had that relationship with their agencies? And all they simply said was they wanted to be listened to, have a voice. They wanted to feel that the agencies were advocating for the children that were being placed in their homes, and that they wanted to be included as a part of the team. That line alone stuck out to me the most. Is how simple is that? But how much of a basic need that is for human nature is that we want to feel a part of the team. I can guarantee that most of you listening to this feel that way in some aspect of your life, that you want to feel needed. You want to feel that you're a part of this and making a difference in whatever it is in your life. And if we can feel like we're a part of something and we're a part of a team, then we feel advocated. We feel that we can do what needs to be done for these children. And so, as simple as that sounds, these parents are not being included in the overall agency team. And so I kind of questioned throughout all of this, as someone who has thought about foster parenting myself, I question you guys to think, what is your overall assumption on this relationship as an outsider? Do you think that foster parents feel supported, or do you think that the child care workers are overwhelmed, or do you think that they have enough people in their staff? I think there's so much in the social media that gives us a different look and a different view, that now as I'm learning and researching more, there's so much more that goes into this than we have a clue on. And that is why there is such a need and a focus for this support system in order to make sure that these 400,000 children that are being placed in these homes are equipped with what they need. Like we said before, these kiddos that are coming to these foster homes, they're coming with emotional and psychological needs that those parents need to be trained on. And so I'll kind of keep scrolling here so you can kind of get a glimpse at some of this. Like I said, you'll want to look at this further because they did a really great job of talking about the different ways of establishing these relationships and the understandings that both the child care workers have for foster parents and both what the foster parents have for the child care workers. It all just comes down to communicating and having enough staff and having enough hands to do what needs to be done. But based on those results, I think it just proves that the importance of support is there, and that there is such a desire for teamwork. And I think at the end of the day that the main goal is the same for both. They want these children to find a safe environment, and in order to do that, they need to work as a team. And I cannot wait to start my discussion with you guys this week to kind of get your input on this and in ways that you think that the foster care system can improve this, and how foster parents can feel supported, and how the agencies can get what they need from our community to make this a better system for the kiddos that are trying to be placed in these new homes. Thank you guys so much. I look forward to hearing your input, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.